You know, you guys are so far away today. You want to come closer? I'm alone on an island over here. All right.
We're fine in this corner.
Yes, okay. So we're going to, at this time, have reasonable opportunity to be heard. And I do see some speaker cards. I will call you up, state your name and your address, and you will have 2 minutes. Our first speaker is Peter Mazzeo. Not here yet. Oh, he is here. Oh, you know what? At this time, I would also like to say that this will also be public comment for 1G1. We're going to take it together. Is that okay? Can we do that? Because a lot of these cards are for 1G1, which is a public hearing item.
Yes, that is appropriate, Madam Chair.
Okay, so this is reasonable opportunity and the common cards for 1G1. This is the public comment portion. Yes, come up. Thank you.
This one here. Good afternoon. My name is Peter Mazzeo, and I'm currently building a single-family residence on San Marco Island on the Venetian
Please
Causeway.
state your address for the record.
Sorry?
Please state your address for the record.
Sure. It's 600 Northeast 27th Street in Miami, Florida, 33137, Unit 2005.
Thank you.
Sure. So as I stated, I am in the process of building a new single-family residence. Ocean Consulting is my permit expediter for my seawall work. I had gone through a roughly 12-month process on receiving an initial seawall permit, which I received on July 12th, 2024. And I believe what I'm about to read to you is a succinct and objective correspondence exchange between myself and Ocean Consulting. They were the ones who initially introduced me to the living seawall panel product, and I agreed to modify my existing seawall permit to incorporate their technology. I did so on July 16th of 2024, and they responded with the following, that they are processing a Durham Class 1 modification for the living sea panels, and it should be very quick. On October 3rd, which was roughly 75 days after I was advised that the modification should be very quick, I sent the following email to Kirk Lofgren at Ocean Consulting, wherein I am deeply troubled at the amount of time it has taken to receive the approval on the modification for my seawall. I was told that the living seawall option would not substantively alter my seawall application and that the change in the seawall panels would be better for the environment, but I now regret making this modification given the time and lack of responsiveness to what was supposed to be a simple administrative adjustment. How is it possible that modifying the texture of the face to the poured seawall panels, which are otherwise identical to which was approved, has taken so long to review? This has had a material impact on the construction of my project, while I've had to make adjustments to the start of construction because I am still waiting to replace my seawall, a seawall that, given the current king tides, is almost underwater. How is it possible that Durham cannot review a simple application to change the texture of a seawall and, in not doing so, affect my construction,
Thank
affect
you.
the environment, and affect the security of
2 minutes are
my
up.
property?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Scott Polowitz.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Scott Polowitz, and I live at 21190 Mainsail Circle, Aventura 33180.
Apologies.
I'm with the,
Okay,
I'm-
she's got the timing guide. Good,
Okay.
sorry.
thank you. I'm with the nonprofit Friends of Biscayne Bay, which is a citizen support organization that focuses on the protection of the Biscayne Bay aquatic preserves. Commissioner Higgins, we appreciate you working with us to amend your original version to item 1G1 between first reading and committee. This amendment limits public hearing and speeds up permitting applications only for seawalls and bulkheads, which we support. Thank you for listening to the public and keeping the rules the same for dredge and fill and marina permitting, as the original item was vulnerable to applicants exploiting loopholes in the permitting process without public or elected input. With this new amendment, this item is now a great balance between environmental protection and streamlining the approval of well-intentioned resiliency work. We are still concerned about the portion of this item allowing a seawall to stick out 1.5 feet into the bay and how that might impact shoreline habitat. State Statute 1818, which protects the aquatic preserves, is in place to prevent the bay bottom from degradation and development impact. It is an aquatic preserve and dredge and fill are not allowed. Please consult with DEP on the potential conflicts with current statute before the final vote on this item. Thank you again for hearing our concerns, as fixing and creating new seawalls quickly and without delay is important for resiliency and Biscayne Bay health. This amendment addresses the problem without the loss of government transparency or opening the door for loopholes. Thank you for bringing this item forward. We are excited about the new technologies out there on seawalls and how it will improve habitat for marine life in the near shore and possibly even make use of recycled sargassum as an emerging technology. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is John Korvick. I'm a local Miami resident. My address is 8000 Southwest 103rd Street, Miami, Florida, 33156. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm in favor of the proposed changes. The seawalls and the existing conditions of the existing seawalls pose a permitting problem and a construction problem and increase the cost for the general overall residents and population. It's a lot on the waterfront here in Miami. There's a huge portion of our seawalls that are trying to fall into the water at the moment, and there's a large team of individuals trying to permit this. I have clients at the moment whose backyard is at risk of falling into the water, and they're facing the same hurdles we went over with the previous conversation. The proposed changes, in fact, address these problems, and I'm in favor of making these changes. That's all.
My name is Glenn Larson, Dock and Marine Construction, 752 Northeast 79th Street, Miami, Florida, 33138. In recent years, the permit process has become very lengthy, very difficult, and the code changes that we are proposing are to allow a new product and sort of match some of the requirements set forth by the state of Florida and the Army Corps of Engineers. And I am in 100% support of this product. Being in the marine construction industry for over 30 years, there have not been a lot of changes or methods or new materials available. And the use of this new product is going to be the first thing that I've seen out there that has a direct positive effect on the environment, giving the benthic life that's out there something to grow on. I think that approving this is important, not only to the environment, but it's important to expedite the process of the permits through Miami-Dade County, Durham, which has had very slow turnaround times for the last year. That's all.
Oh, thank you. My mic wasn't on. Trulie Burton is up next, followed by Solomon Arrojo. And then after that, we'll have Commissioner Alex Fernandez. We're just going to go in order of the cards that we received, but get ready to be in the queue. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Trulie Burton. I'm the Executive Vice President for the Builders Association with offices at 111 Northwest 183rd Street in Miami Gardens, Florida, 33169. We also support G1 for a combination of several reasons. First, we think it's a considerable improvement in the permitting process. As you've heard several other speakers relate to the fact that processing has been slow, delayed, pokey, whatever it is. You know, having this gentleman behind me, the first speaker, regarding a very, very long delay is really unacceptable. And I know it's unacceptable to the department, and it's certainly unacceptable to the public. We do support the idea of living walls. I think that's a really great idea. I'm not a scientist, not my area, but we have a number of people, a number of builders that have multifamily or high-rise buildings on Biscayne Bay along with marinas. So we agree and we support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. Solomon.
Good afternoon, Solomon Arroyo, 7000 Island Boulevard, Aventura, Florida, Redline Marine Construction. We support any effort to expedite the permits especially for seawalls in Miami. We've done several projects in Miami Beach. The lengthy process for permitting puts me at a situation in front of the homeowner that is, they really are always wondering, why so long, why so long, why so long? And I'm really on the front line because I get the calls and I try to explain the process. We do pretty well with that, but it is very frustrating for the homeowner who's just trying to make improvements to their property, protect their property. We also see a lot of transplants here from the north, especially New York, people coming in, and our first meeting does not go well when I let them know it's gonna be 15 months to get a permit for their seawall. It's up to me to defend the process, which is difficult. I'm just a GC, I just like to build seawalls and be on the water, but we support Kind Design, the New Living Seawalls. We support anything that has to do with positively impacting the environment. We'd like to get into artificial islands, artificial reefs that are implemented into this new living seawalls. So we definitely support any efforts to expedite the process and allow us to bring living seawalls to Miami. Thank you.
Commissioner?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Alex Fernandez, Miami Beach City Commissioner. And I want to start by thanking you for the opportunity to speak in support of 1G1 on your agenda today, and especially thank Commissioner Eileen Higgins for her leadership on this important issue. As a Miami Beach City Commissioner, I want to underscore how vital seawalls are to our city's infrastructure. We have approximately 55 miles of seawalls. More than 90% of them are privately owned. And while we're working in investing in our 5 miles of publicly owned seawalls, the success of our overall strategy depends greatly on private property owners being able to upgrade theirs efficiently and responsibly. Flooding events, and even minor ones from small storms and sunny day tides, cost millions in lost business and higher insurance premiums. After Hurricane Irma, many of us remember how our hotel rooms sat empty, costing an estimated $25 million in just 1 week. Meanwhile, seawall permits in our county can take 18 to 24 months, while similar permits in other counties can take just 3 to 6 months. And that's a great difference and a great disparity. That delay leaves our residents and infrastructure exposed during a climate emergency. Every day of delay is a day of unnecessary risk. Miami Beach has led on this issue. In 2016, we were among the first cities to require higher seawall elevations. In 2021, we tied overtopping events directly to required actions such as raised seawalls. We are encouraging hybrid seawalls and living shorelines, and we're again updating our ordinance this month to strengthen compliance and allowing the city to come in and do repairs when private property owners are not doing so. Reducing permitting timelines from years to months is more than good governance. It is a climate resilience strategy, and I thank you, Commissioner Higgins, for sponsoring this important ordinance. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Blankenship. Yeah, that's okay. Good afternoon. I'm Kirk Lofgren with Ocean Consulting, offices at 359 Alcazar Avenue, Suite 200 in Coral Gables, Florida. We have been a consultant in Miami-Dade County for 23 years now, and we have watched the permitting process with the county continue to get more complicated and to continue to get longer. So I'd like to talk about 2 things today. The first is the timeline, and the second is a rule change about the 18 inches, which I think is really critical as well. Regarding the timelines, to give you an example of a project that has come before the Board of County Commission, it's in Bal Harbor. I have the Clipper number if it's helpful, but that project took us 4 years to get through the approval process for a new seawall. It's an extreme example, but it gives you an idea of what it takes us to get through the permitting process when you're talking about building a seawall waterward of existing vertical support piles. These are king piles. That seawall is still not built because there's currently a challenge between us and Durham enforcement about the projection of the wall waterward and not being consistent with the BCC ruling. So with the change to that, our timelines are going to be significantly reduced, and that's a big bonus for everybody, not just us, but also for the homeowner. The second example is one where we actually remove the king piles. I was on a project site yesterday where, as required by the county to stay within a specific distance waterward of the existing wet face of the wall, we removed those king piles. And guess what happened? That wall failed. There is more significant damage from a failure of a wall to the marine environment than there is from leaving those vertical support piles in place and simply going waterward of that wall with the new seawall. So we are highly in favor of those changes, specifically as it relates to timelines and avoiding a long permitting process. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Tim Blankenship. I reside at 77 Grandin Boulevard, Key Biscayne. I've been a practicing engineer for 25 years here at Miami-Dade County. I work for Moffitt & Nichol, and I'm also an advisor to Kind Design. We'd like to ask the Commissioners today to approve item 1G1. I am in favor of this item. It will significantly streamline the environmental permitting process. Many of you know that the majority of the shoreline here in Miami-Dade County is privately owned. So the county needs to do everything they can to enhance and motivate these private owners to replace their seawalls and make the permitting process, especially for replacement in kind seawalls, as streamlined as possible. Also, we're trying to promote in the county green infrastructure, so this legislation will provide opportunities for new technologies to be developed in the form of living seawalls and enhance other technologies to be developed to provide green infrastructure in lieu of gray infrastructure here in the county. So again, just reiterating my support of item 1G1. Thank you.
Thank you. I've been informed that we are going to be losing quorum in about 10 minutes, so I want to make sure we have 3 speakers, Anya Freeman, Manana Aziz, and Bree Kokos. So if you want to wave in support, or if there's anything else you want to add to the record, let me know. Yeah, just
You want to speak or no?
do you have anything new to add? Are you in support?
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
but Bree will go first. 'Cause
Okay, and just be as quickly as you possibly can. Like, don't take 2 minutes.
We're gonna go to 1 minute
Thank you.
right now
Yeah.
per speaker, just to make sure that we have the opportunity to actually.
You would rather have us vote on this item.
Okay, well, I've got something interesting to share. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bree Kokos, address 780 Northeast 69th Street in Miami, Florida. I am the senior marine biologist at Ocean Consulting, and I'm here to speak in support of 1G1, particularly the riprap rule change. I have over 25 years' experience as a specialist in surveying, identifying, and mapping coastal marine communities. Most of that time as a biological surveyor, has been right here in Biscayne Bay. For nearly every week of the last 20 years, I have dove and surveyed coastlines from Old Cutler Bay all the way up to the intracoastal waterway through Golden Beach. I identify the organisms and habitats that inhabit these coastlines so that I can advise my clients how to avoid impacting these sensitive biological features as part of the environmental permitting process. I speak confidently that no one knows current urban coastal habitat within Biscayne Bay better than me, not one person. I have seen it all and have been part of hundreds of seawall permits over the years. Over the course of the last decade, I observed an unsettling trend. A parasitic sponge native to this area but previously not abundant has rapidly proliferated across the bay. This sponge, known by its scientific genus Cleona, is what we all call an excavating sponge. It attaches to anything made of calcium carbonate or limestone and bores into it as it feeds on it, eventually killing the host organism.
Bree, thank you. Is there anything are you in support, or do you?
Okay, we're in support. I'm in support of 1G1, particularly the riprap restriction requirement. Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I have so much more if you all want to talk about it later.
I'm happy to. Anya or Manana, is there anything? If you're in support, just wave in support unless there's something you want to put on the record that has not been mentioned.
Okay, thank you.
Please state your name and address.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Mariana Aziz. I'm speaking on behalf of Miami Waterkeeper, address 2121 Ponce de Leon. First, we want to thank Commissioner Higgins for amending and adding the possibility of public hearing for the short-form permits. However, we still have some concerns over the content of the ordinance. One provision in particular is Section C, named Obtaining Approval for the Board of County Commissioners, Item D, which states all other standard form permits application, meaning those that don't require public hearing shall be approved or denied by the director. This language appears to eliminate the possibility of a public hearing for a wide range of form permits, many of which could have significant environmental and community impacts. Additionally, we remain concerned about the provision allowing seawall and bulkheads with structural piles extending up to 14 inches to qualify for the short-form permit. Along Biscayne Bay, this would effectively authorize incremental filling of the Biscayne Bay Aquatic Preserve. In Residential Canal, this could also change and narrow waterways, impeding navigation and reducing tidal exchange. This threatens the water quality and worsens fish kill due to already dissolved oxygen levels. Thank you.
I really appreciate all of you coming out. Due to the fact that we are going to lose quorum, I have a quick, are you waving in support? Do you have something else you'd like to add? Are you sure? Okay, thank you. Before we take 1G1, do I have a motion to set the agenda?
So moved.
All right.
Madam Chair, just a couple preliminary matters. First of all, since that was public hearing, just a reminder to close public hearing on that. And then second, before the setting of the agenda, there's a scrivener's error on item 3G. All references to Dr. Jed D. Redwine shall be corrected to Dr. Jed R. Redwine. And second, Commissioner Regalado has requested to be shown as a prime sponsor on items 3A, 3D, and 3E.
Thank you. Okay, now public hearing is closed and reasonable opportunity has been closed. So we have a motion to set the agenda. We have a second by Commissioner Hardiman. Okay, so all in favor? By acclamation, it passes. Really quickly, does anybody have anything that they want to bifurcate before I get to 1G1? So do I have a motion to pass the remainder of the agenda? Okay, do I have a second? All in favor? That passes. And now we're on 1G1. And before we do adjourn, I do want to say that item 3E, we request to go to June 26th. Okay, 1G1, Eileen. Commissioner Higgins.
Yeah, thank you, colleagues. This has been an item we've worked long and hard on. As a matter of fact, it was our Halloween activity last year. We gathered a room full of people to look at how we could make our seawall permitting process work better for homeowners, for industry, and also here at the county. So this item does a couple of things. First and foremost, it recognizes that there's lots of new innovations going on, particularly in living seawalls, which are still concrete, right? It's not just the planting of plants. These are, there's a lot of new innovative technology. There's living seawall tiles that have been championed and are part of FIU's investigation. So there's flexibility to permit more quickly these kinds of new technology, which are better for marine life. The second thing it does is it essentially brings our RIPRAP standards into compliance with the state standards and our CDMP standards, and gives flexibility to not use RIPRAP when particularly we're using these new living seawalls. They're costly. There is no proven environmental benefit. We didn't get to the punchline on Bree's comments, but they harbor invasive species and they trap debris. So there's a lot more flexibility for that. You've heard that they take basically forever to approve. And in the meantime, we could get a hurricane that literally destroys someone's home. It provides a timeline for making these things happen. It provides transparencies for the commissioners. Once this is implemented, there'll be a 90-day shot clock to approve these. There's only a reporting mechanism if Durham misses that. So if they're doing everything on time in 90 days, they don't have to disclose, but anytime they're late, they'll be disclosing to us that it's taking longer for this to happen. And last but not least, there's a ton of confusion on the public hearing. There's always been a public hearing in my item. It will continue to occur at the EQCB. rather than at the committee. So we have a few more, I just have a few more very short amendments, which has happened, as you can tell, our team has met with a lot of people, including the department. I've passed those around. And I don't, do you want to read, do we need to read them? Because we don't want to lose quorum, so read fast, in other words. But I think you can see we've satisfied everybody's concerns.
Commissioner Higgins moves to make the following 5 amendments to item 1G1 substitute. First, on page MDC 006, amend the third recital clause to delete the phrase without the need for public hearing. Second, on page MDC 006, after the third recital clause, add 2 additional recital clauses relating to instances where, due to the dimensions of the proposed seawall or bulkhead, federal and state government agencies may have permitting authority. Third, on pages MDC 006 and MDC 011, amend the third recital clause in subsection 1A1 of section 24-48.2 of the code, respectively, to provide the construction, repair, or replacement of seawalls or bulkheads shall be eligible for a short-form permit where there are seawall/bulkhead primary support piles, such as king piles, T-piles, or other structural piles, that extend a total of no more than 14 inches waterward, provided that the reconstructed, repaired, or replaced seawall or bulkhead is in total no more than 18 inches waterward of the existing primary support piles. Fourth, on page MDC 012, amend subsection 1B1 of section 24-48.2 of the code to provide that a public hearing by the Board of County Commissioners shall be held for any short-form application that is not for work limited exclusively to seawalls and bulkheads upon written request. All previously stricken provisions throughout the ordinance related to such public hearings shall remain. Fifth, on page MDC 022, amend section 8 of the ordinance to provide that the new permitting timeline shall take effect upon the full implementation and operational deployment of the Gold Key software system for Class 1 permit applications, or on January 1st, 2026, whichever date is earlier.
Right.
I'll move the item.
You're going to move the item. Commissioner
As
Higgins?
amended.
As amended. Thank you for those amendments, because I had questions, so I appreciate those amendments. Do I have a second? Okay. Commissioner Hardeman seconds the motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bermudez?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hardeman? Chairwoman Steinberg?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, as amended. Thank you. And I don't believe you want this on until July.
July 1st is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so the only item that we are asking to be expedited to the June 26th commission meeting is 3E, and the appointments for the Watershed Board. We'll put that request in. Thank you so much. With that, meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you, colleagues.
Of his life and his family's dedication to our community.